Hello guys, how are you all doing? So on today's video, we have a quick tutorial on how you should be setting up your tables in 2025 and how you should be rendering lists in your front end. So this is quick tutorial. We have an array here of 14 items, and then in our front end, we have 14 items. So now what we want to do here, it's super simple. Once we have a new item in our table, we want to update it right here, because you want to have real-time updates on your tables, and this is so simple to set up, and even you can set it up for all projects where you think this will be helpful. So this is a regular request in Wiz. If you haven't seen how to render a list, I will suggest to look into the Wiz tutorials. I won't be looking into that detail. I will only be looking into the Xano real-time setup. So these items right here are being rendered by this array. This is an array that is coming from this table. We have, generated an API endpoint where we can pull all these people. So if I run this, I will get the array, 14 items, just like we have in our front end. Now, the only thing that we're doing to make this, functional in 2025, where you want to have real-time updates, is that we have this logic right here. We have enabled, first of all, the Xano real-time setup. So if I go here in my dashboard and I go to my settings, you can see that I have the real-time settings enabled. I have a connection hash right here, and also I created a channel. In this channel, the permissions that we set is we allowed anonymous clients, so you don't need to be authenticated to get into the channel that we need to listen to. And then also we allow clients to be able to publicate messages to the channel. And that's pretty much it. We won't get too technical here. Obviously, ideally, you'll be enabling authentication in case your app is authenticated. This is just a simple example. And then once we have that, you just need to go to the documentation that Xano has for you. So the only thing that we have done is we have copied that Xano SDK. We pasted it under our project settings or general settings. I have the Finsuite plugin, so I don't need to go to my general settings in Webflow. I just go here to my custom code. I have pasted the SDK from Xano. And then once we have that, it's as simple as this. We create a variable called Xano client where we call the function Xano client from the library that we have installed, SDK. We pass the instance base URL, so this is our instance from Xano. The way that you can get this is you can just go to any of your folders really, or any of your, if you go to here APIs, you can copy here the URL, and you just need to remove the group path. So you just need to get it until this point, and this is your base, the instance of your Xano database. Once you have that, you just set up the real-time connection hash that Xano gives you whenever you enable that functionality under your dashboard tab. Right here, they give you the connection hash. Once you have those two, you paste it right here. After that, once you have the Xano client variable, you have called this function. We set another variable that this can be called whatever you want, really. I call it people channel because it's a reference, because we have a table called people. And then we listen to any message that we get, so any events. And then if the message, that action is called event, we have a functionality right here. If it's not, either way, we can have a default functionality. So I will show you how this works. You just, at the beginning, you don't need to set any of this right here. You can just remove all of this and just listen to what message is. You need to listen, you need to look into the structure of message. If you don't have the structure of message, there's no way that you can, set this up, because you have no idea what's the paths that you need to follow. In this scenario, it's super simple. We get, and I will show you how we send in this event. So before, I continue on the front-end setup, I want to show you the backend setup. So in our table where we have the people, if I go to my settings right here, you can see that we have triggers. This is part of the real-time functionality that Xano created for the users. If I go to triggers, you add a new database trigger and you can select when should we trigger, this. Whenever there's a new item, whenever there's an update, and that makes sense. Also, you should be able to have, the option to update items and also add records. So I think even the delete, like these three, you should have them enabled so you can create the actions. Once you have that, um, we have here the new record, and we are, whenever we're getting to this trigger, you get a few things. You get the new item in case it's a new record, or even if it's an updated record. So you have the old version of that record and the new version of that record. And then finally, you have the action and the data source, because the triggers, you can enable the triggers to work on that test, on any data source that you have, because you have the live. By default, you have only live. You can create, obviously, for live projects, you should have a test database, just so you guys are aware. And then we're just calling this real-time event where we call the channel people that we created. By the way, whenever you create a channel inside the real-time settings, you need to set a name. So this is the name of the channel, and then we're just passing the new record. As simple as that. Now, there are other ways. Like something that we can also do here is I'm just going to do right here in the tutorial. Let's just go to the settings of my trigger, and I'm just going to click here update deletes, so we get all of it. Now, this is whenever we're working with large sizes of data. I don't suggest this, but this is just an example of how you can update, a whole array super quickly. It's like this. Like, let me just get it. Insert, update, deletes. We will trigger this event on any of whenever something of that happens on our table, like whenever you create a record, update or delete a record. And then instead of passing the new JSON, we're just going to pass here the whole table again. The whole table again. Current records, people, no filters here. And then instead of the data that we will pass in the new, we will just going to pass the people one. Let's just change the name because I don't like that to use numbers on my variables. Let's just call it people, update the reference. So we will be sending, we will be sending the people array to our event. So now if I will publish that, and I'm going to change slightly my front end because this is structure slightly different. Instead of pushing one single object, we are just going to replace the whole, people data. So we're just going to say people data equals message that payload that data. So this is something going to be pretty cool. And also we will see if we get an error here, but it will be cool to see. Instead of calling object, we'll call array because we should be getting an array here. And now, for example, we have Shirley Sanchez right here. And if I go here to my table in Xano and I remove Shirley Sanchez, I just delete her. Awesome. As you can see, we don't have her anymore right here. And let's say Norma Castillo, and let's call her Norma Abad. Just like my last name, Norma Abad. Great. And as you can see, where's Norma? Norma Abad right here. And she was updated at the end. Not sure why that happened because we should keep the same order here. But this is so cool that we have real-time updates on our data without refreshing the page. And this is what you are looking for your users. Please always use this setup. Follow the structures. I will leave the links here for the real-time documentation. And yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Don't worry about looking to our details from our real-time connection because I will be removing this workspace. But I hope you guys like this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching.